So one thing about game design that's really critical is that game design is both an art and a science. So innovation, it's really important to have innovation happen in context. A lot of people come to game design positions and they feel like it's something where I have cool ideas, I play lots of games, I can just invent whatever I want, make a game that's fun for me. But to be a professional game designer, and one thing we train all our people at, is the idea that game design actually comes with a lot of technical detail and technical knowledge and background. If you want to design a successful mobile game or a console game or any kind of game, you really have to understand the audience that plays those games, the games that have come before and the way they've shaped that audience and expectations. And when you that's why designers tend to specialize. They tend to have, people who focus on, mobile design do it for many, many years. So we really encourage that kind of deep thinking and deep research and deep kind of mastery of your game design craft and your genre, so that when you do have innovative ideas, they come from a place of expertise. They kind of stand on the shoulders of giants, knowing all that's going on in the industry. And when you have those kind of constraints and that understanding and that scaffolding to do your innovation, your ideas, are practical, but you also, we also encourage people, and that's kind of the easy part, is to take a big leap. People are fans of these kind of genres, they play a lot of these games, they know what's come before, and you just kind of give them a little nudge, and designers are creative people, they'll give you an idea that's never been tried before. That's kind of the easy part to get them to do that, and the context and the knowledge is what makes those ideas really beneficial, not just pie in the sky dreaming. So the triple diamond approach is something we use in the creative core team when we kind of create a pitch or, innovate a new game idea that we're going to present to our clients and, hopefully win the business. So it really starts with 3 phases and kind of exemplifies what I talked about with innovation. The first phase is a research phase, where we're not only researching the market that this game is going to be about. If it's a mobile game, we're checking other mobile games that are in the same genre, we're playing those games, we're reaching out to a large network we have within the design team. We have 73 designers at the moment. A lot of them have worked on many of these different games. So the designer who's creating this pitch has a lot of resources to reach out to become a master of this concept. So that's the first step of the diamond, is to really go broad, do a lot of research, and kind of come together with the initial idea of what this game should be, based on all that research. The next step of the triple diamond is the creative component. That's where we basically, take all the knowledge you learned in step 1 and just start brainstorming, going wide with different ideas. Some might be more practical, this is a logical evolution, but some might be more out there, because you need to have room to, consider all those possibilities, and even if they're, even just the process of considering them, even if they end up being rejected, most of the ideas that come up in that brainstorming phase will be rejected, but the act of considering them and thinking about why they're good or why they're not kind of leads you to the nugget of gold in this whole kind of pile. And so that's the second part of that's the diamond 2 of the triple diamond approach, is going wide with creativity and then bringing it together to find the best idea out of that bunch. And diamond 3 of the triple diamond is kind of the execution part. The pitch needs to be well thought out, well designed, details need to be worked out. How is this going to exactly work? As well, there's execution on the art side, how is it going to look? What are the characters going to look like? What's the world? All that kind of stuff. And that's really where, for the designer's point of view, we're taking these ideas, the research we started in the first phase, the creative ideas we came up with in the second phase, and now we have the idea for what we're making, and we got to present it clearly to our clients that are going to be receiving this pitch, so they understand everything we've come up with, and are ultimately buy into this concept that this is a great idea for a game that should exist. So I think the best way to describe Creative Core is that they're sort of a game innovation hit squad. It's a small team, very dedicated. They work on a very tight schedule. But their main expertise is pitching new games, innovating new game ideas and pitching them. They rarely, sometimes they rotate off of that and go and continue to work on projects. It keeps their skills kind of fresh as designers, so they see the rest of the design process. But, while they're on Creative Core, they really specialize on this initial innovation process of the high-level idea for a game, the seed from which the whole game is going to sprout. So that's what the creative core team is, and it's really like they're split into tracks, and there's a designer who owns sort of for each pitch that comes in will own that pitch as the kind of creative owner of that from the design side, and they basically go through the triple diamond approach, and also I think it's important to note that creative core, nobody can be an expert on everything. And creative core designers do need to pitch for a wide variety of clients to come to us. Some ask for mobile games, console games, PC games, competitive games, cooperative games, games for women, games for men. Like there's so much difference of kind of games we're doing. So nobody can be an expert in all of it, and that's where the backing of the Design Guild and like the 73 members we have that are working on projects and have deep resumes of history. Like the creative core person is just the tip of the spear. They're the one who's going to be kind of going through this triple diamond approach, coming up with a concept. But if they've never worked on a racing game and there's 5 designers who have, we have a way that they can reach out on our Slack channel to the rest of the members of the guild and say, hey, who's worked on this kind of project before? Can you give me some advice to help me refine these ideas, and just serve as like an informal like brainstorm helper or sounding board for these ideas. So that's kind of what creative core does. They're the tip of the spear for game innovation for Ember.